nắng chan hoa, nhờ tình yêu Thiên Chúa ban cho. Cây xanh tươi màu đẹp tuyệt thay trong nắng ban mai, lung linh ăn mai, lung linh cành hồng, tia nụ hoa khoe sắc ngát hương, tiếng chim hát vang chào mùa xuân đến cho cuộc đời. Mừng vui tình yêu Thiên Chúa hằng ban cho khắp nhân gian, mùa xuân hoa muôn câu hát chúc nhau an lành trong Chúa. Vì yêu Ngài đã vui đến, hòa bình mang cho khắp nhân gian, Ngài mang mùa xuân tươi mới đến để thay những ngày u sầu. Cảm tạ Chúa, cảm tạ Cha về tình yêu Thiên Chúa bao la. Cảm tạ Chúa, cảm tạ Cha về mùa xuân thiết tha an lành phước hạnh. Ngài là sự sáng, Ngài là mùa xuân, Ngài là vua trên cả muôn vua. Ngài là nguồn sống, Ngài là tình yêu, Ngài là Chúa đấng ban cho mùa xuân này. Trăm hoa ngát hương đón xuân về bên trời, đàn chim ca vang rộn ràng. Trong tia nắng mai sáng tươi ngàn tiếng cười, hòa chung câu hát mừng xuân. Xuân mang theo lời ca, mùa xuân mới thắp sáng nụ cười. Xuân mang theo tình yêu vào trong trái tim ta. Xuân vui bên Giêsu, tình xuân mới ấm áp nồng nàn. Giêsu là mùa xuân tươi thắm, một mùa xuân yêu thương về đây. Lòng ta ơn Giêsu quyền năng, ban ơn muôn vua. Ngài là nguồn sống, Ngài là tình yêu, Ngài là Chúa đấng ban cho mùa xuân này.
Send professional invoices and get paid faster with the QuickBooks mobile app. Know when they've been viewed and know when you're paid. Anytime, anywhere.
Who's here? Because any car that doesn't offer the confidence that it will find you is a car that stops short of amazing.
Trăm hoa ngát hương đón xuân về bên trời, đàn chim ca vang rộn ràng. Trong tia nắng mai sáng tươi ngàn tiếng cười, hòa chung câu hát mừng xuân. Xuân mang theo lời ca, mùa xuân mới thắp sáng nụ cười. Xuân mang theo tình yêu vào trong trái tim ta. Xuân vui bên Giêsu, tình xuân mới ấm áp nồng nàn. Giêsu là mùa xuân tươi thắm, một mùa xuân yêu thương về đây. Lòng ta ơn Giêsu quyền năng, ban ơn thiêng ngập tràn khắp nơi. Thật tình Chúa qua đỡ dung sâu, trọn đời con tôn vinh Ngài thôi. Ngài là mùa xuân mới trong con, một mùa xuân yêu thương về đây. Mọi sầu lo trong con vụt tan, bên Giêsu con được hóa vui. Thật tình Chúa sâu hơn đại dương, trọn đời con ghi ơn Ngài luôn. Ngài là mùa xuân mãi không phai. Trăm hoa ngát hương đón xuân về bên trời, đàn chim ca vang rộn ràng. Trong tia nắng mai sáng tươi ngàn tiếng cười, hòa chung câu hát mừng xuân. Xuân mang theo lời ca, mùa xuân mới thắp sáng nụ cười. Xuân Xuân mang theo tình yêu vào trong trái tim ta. Xuân vui bên Giêsu, tình xuân mới ấm áp nồng nàn. Giêsu là mùa xuân tươi thắm, một mùa xuân yêu thương về đây. Lòng tạ ơn Giêsu quyền năng, ban ơn thiêng ngập tràn khắp nơi. Thật tình Chúa qua đổi dòng sâu, trọn đời con tôn vinh Ngài thôi. Ngài là mùa xuân mới trong con, một mùa xuân yêu thương về đây. Mọi sầu lo trong con vụt tan, bên Giêsu con đường thỏa vui. Thật tình Chúa sâu hơn đại dương, trọn đời con ghi ơn Ngài luôn. Ngài là mùa xuân mãi không phai. Trăm hoa ngát hương đón xuân về bên trời, đàn chim ca vang rộn ràng. Trong tia nắng mai sáng tươi ngàn tiếng cười, hòa chung câu hát mừng xuân. Xuân mang theo lời ca, mùa xuân mới thắp sáng nụ cười. Xuân mang theo tình yêu vào trong trái tim ta. Xuân vui bên Giêsu, tình xuân mới ấm áp nồng nàn. Giêsu là mùa xuân tươi thắm, một mùa xuân yêu thương về đây. Lòng tạ ơn Giêsu quyền năng, ban ơn thiêng ngập tràn khắp nơi. Thật tình Chúa qua đổi dòng sâu, trọn đời con tôn vinh Ngài thôi. Ngài là mùa xuân mới trong con, một mùa xuân yêu thương về đây. Mọi sầu lo trong con vụt tan, bên Giêsu con đường thỏa vui. Thật tình Chúa sâu hơn đại dương, trọn đời con ghi ơn Ngài luôn. Ngài là mùa xuân mãi không phai. And he's like, we're going to have to reduce. You're going to have to choose some of these to abort so that it's safer for you and the baby's livelihood. So they straight up told you, like, we are going to have to do this. Yes. Like, but yeah. It was like basically not even an option for you. And I said, I can't do that. So. Danielle, thanks so much for coming. I kind of like starting with like a fun, like icebreaker type question. Yeah. So however you want to answer this, do you have a theme song that you would give to your oldest daughter and then to your twins? Okay, well, I don't feel like they've lived enough life to have like a theme song yet, but with Blake, so she's 14, I would say probably anything Justin Bieber related. She's a believer. I think we're all believers. And yeah. That's a good one. The Quints, they are all into different music, and we love music in the house, but they love like all the Zombie 4 like soundtrack music and the K-pop songs, which is really kind of funny to say right now. We have some country lovers in the house, like Morgan Wallen is like one of the favorites, always playing in the house. So we like a little mix of genres in the house. Nice. Okay, I kind of went ahead of myself because people might not know that you have twins. So I guess you should start there with like a little bit of a rundown of your story. Okay. So I am Danielle Busby, first all-girl quintuplets in America, born back in 2015. So they are 10 years old now. And we had a TV show for 10 seasons on TLC called Outdaughtered. We've had a YouTube channel. It's a Buzzworld for seasons. I guess you wouldn't call it seasons, just episodes. And now my husband and I have a podcast called More Than Reality Podcast. Nice. So, yeah. Nice. So how did you find out that you had twins? Because like already finding out you're pregnant is like such a big deal. And then like maybe twins, you're like, oh, that's crazy. But like... Yeah, so it's a pretty funny story that how we found out we were pregnant with quintuplets, because it wasn't just like we're pregnant and we go in and we find out we're pregnant with quintuplets. It was like a gradual, like every appointment there was more babies. And so the joke from Adam's dad, Adam's my husband, was, can you stop going to ultrasounds because there's more babies every time you go, which I just
kind of saw God's humor through all that. I always wanted a big family, and I think God always knows the desires of our hearts, and it's something that I never thought I could have and would have. And so it's part of, to say, like, God really knows the desires of our hearts, and He will always pull those through. And so when we found out we were pregnant, at that home test was like, oh, you're pregnant. I was like, cool, let's call the doctor, let's do the blood test. You're pregnant. Let's wait till you can come in and have an ultrasound. Did that. You're pregnant. Okay, confirm that. Didn't see anything. We're like heartbroken. We're like, that's weird. Mm-hmm. So wait a little bit of time, did more blood work. It's increasing. Go in. Long story short, we finally get to see an ultrasound, and we're like, okay, there's like, if you've seen ultrasounds, there's like clearly this black circle. It looks like there's an ultrasound. I mean, a sac there. Yeah. And we saw like 3 sacs, and we're like, okay, does that mean 3 babies? And you're like, whoa, that's a lot. Yeah. And you're like, okay, so there's triplets. As the doctor's like kind of scrolling around, like checking out my ovaries and my tubes, there's like this other like little spot down there. And come to find out, that was really condensing this story really short. So
You don't have to.
You can read like the whole full story on the blog. It's a Buzzworld. But it turns out that third little spot that we thought was just like maybe some fluid ends up being a 4th baby. So we are now carrying quadruplets. And this appointment turned into like a high risk, hard, heavy appointment that I never thought I would ever face. Never thought I would ever even could have thought of, like, one, I never thought I would even have triplets or quadruplets. I do have multiples in my family. My sisters are twins, and my mom's mom, so my grandma had twins and triplets. And so it's very, like, it doesn't really skip a generation. It's just been carried on. Yeah. And so I knew there was a possibility, but here I am having, it's real. It's like real. And I'm like, okay, this is a joke, right? Like, this doesn't just happen to like little old me, I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant with quadruplets. This is wild. This is insane. And, my husband and I had like really different reactions. Like, he's like literally about to pass out. And I'm like, this is hilarious, God. Like, is this for real? And so that appointment turned into like, all the heaviness of, the high risk, the factors of like what is going to go wrong, like all the medical diagnosis that you are going to have, the babies will have, they will not survive, they will have cerebral palsy, they might not see, they like all the high risk things.
Why were they saying that already about these babies that they like didn't know much about?
Because that's the statistics of, you're going to not be able to carry them to full term. So the development stages of them are going to be premature and born extremely early. And so that's what statistics say of what they've seen, right? The medical knowledge of that. So that appointment went on, and it lasted for about 2.5 hours, 3 hours of just sitting in there and like having to hear all these things. So, a lot of fear, I guess, is taking over in that state, right? You're just like shocked with like, what? Yeah. There was nothing good that came from that appointment to say from the doctor's response to having being pregnant with quadruplets. And so it's just hard. It was just weighted, and it was very heavy to hear it almost felt like it was a burden. Yeah. And to me, as someone who's always wanted to be a mom, who's always had this gift and always been told my whole life, like, you're going to be an amazing mom, always had like this gift with children, and like just they would draw to me. And actually my husband too is one of the reasons why I fell in love with him, because he had that natural gift where like kids just love to be with you, and just like they were fun, and like we were those people that were not like bothered by kids, I would say. Yeah. And so what was something we had always dreamed of, where we were now faced with, this is now going to be a burden, and you need to think differently about being pregnant. And we're crushed, So being Christ followers and Christians, we just really felt the weight in the enemy really wanting to like destroy us at this moment, you know. And I do believe that I want to believe that the doctor had good intentions because I am his patient, right?
Yeah.
But what I do think now is that he was scared of what would happen.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's this whole medical world of, you know, their brains work on vision of what do they know. And my life runs on a lot of what I don't know because I have faith. And leaving that appointment, Adam and I are just really conflicted, but we know where our hearts sit, and we're confused, you know. And we're going to come back in about 10 days, 2 weeks, to do another ultrasound. And within these times, we are just praying, and we're just confused. We don't know. I'm already a mom. I have a little 3-year-old daughter, Blake, at this point. I'm like, what's going on, Lord? Like, I now faced with this high-risk pregnancy. I have a daughter. This is the dream that I've always wanted to be, was a mom. But we are here, and your will be done. That's it. You've placed these babies here, and we are going to go with whatever you have designed for this story, you know? And so we were left that appointment, and that's what we were going to do the next couple weeks, the next couple days was just pray about, you know, your will be done, Lord. The doctors did tell us when we come back to the next appointment that not to expect there to be 4 babies. And they're going to be fighting for survival. It's super early, critical stage. So those words mean a lot as I look back at my story now and say, that's interesting, because when we did go back, we didn't see 4.
Right.
And this is a testament to say, like, God is bigger and God is more than. And it says that in the book of Matthew. It says that in the Gospels, that God is bigger and God is more than anything that we can do in our human efforts.
Right.
I believe that, and that is where my faith sits even still today. And we went back for that ultrasound thinking, you know, there might not be 4, but Lord, we saw 4 heartbeats that day. If it's your will that we don't see 4, that we are going to trust in that. But it's not going to be up to us to change that, you know? Just let there be 4. That's what we were praying for, because that's what we saw.
Yeah.
We get in that appointment, and ultrasound is right on top. The first sac we see, there's clearly 2 heartbeats in there. And we were like, both Adam and I look at each other, and the doctor at this point is like, ultrasound's on there, and he's still kind of like, it's like on, but he's still getting the machine set. And Adam and I are looking at the TV screen, and we both look at each other, and we're like, we know what that is, and we did not see that last time. You know, that is twins in there. And it's something we didn't even think about because we're so overwhelmed with the fact that we're having quadruplets. Right. And here we are looking up there, and the doctor glazes at the screen, and he's like, whoop, and he quickly moves the wand away, right? And he's like, whoa, kind of glances over the others and thinking, holy cow, those have now split, and they're now identical twins in that one sac. And so, once again, I see humor in this. And I'm like, okay, Lord, you're funny. You're funny. And we're now having quintuplets. And so that is the story about how we found out we're having quintuplets.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's wild. And that appointment turned into even a deeper, heavier, weighted conversation of we need to really think about reducing. And that's the first time I ever heard these terms of reduction. And I had to ask, like, what does that mean? And he's like, we're going to have to reduce. You're going to have to choose some of these to abort so that it's safer for you and the baby's livelihood.
So they straight up told you, like, we are going to have to do this.
Yes.
Like, but it was, like, basically not even an option for you. Like, they didn't present it as an option for you.
They said, for the safety of you and the survival, the best outcome of healthiness for the babies, we should reduce to twins.
So they wanted you to...
And I said, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was something that my doctor was happy to hear me choose that. So he did look at Adam after I was pretty fervent, like, that's not something I can do. I won't do that. Like, I will not choose that, and that's not something I believe in. And he looked at Adam and said, you need to have a talk with your wife and tell her, like, she is a mother already, and does she want to risk losing that? And at this point, the fire in me is like, get me out of here. I'm about to fight somebody. You know? And I think that is a fire and a fight in me that God knew that I would stand for. And I'm proud of that. And I'm proud to say that, like, God chose me for this life and to be the mother of these 5, because I don't know that everybody would choose that.
Right.
And I want to stand for that, and I want to fight for that, and I want to verbalize that to other moms out there, that like you don't have to take the first word that is presented in your ear. You can take what someone tells you, and this can be applied to a lot of things in life, right? But for something so precious of life, like, you can take what a doctor is going to tell you, and you go to God with that, because there's no one who's going to bring you anything greater in life. And I call that peace. It's not going to come from a doctor. It's not going to come from a human. It's going to come from God. And leaving that appointment and having to go to a specialist, my maternal fetal specialist, being presented with that same level of, hey, this is going to be your outcome. And it was a very blunt, this is what we need to do. You need to choose. You're my patient, and there's five sacks in here. It wasn't even perceived necessarily as babies at this point, but to me, that is what they are. Like, there's 5 babies. I heard 5 heartbeats. That is life. That is life. And my perspective and my view never changed. Was the enemy trying to come in and destroy that? Absolutely. Absolutely, he was.
Yeah. I mean, like, the authority of a doctor, even just, like, considering how I listen to doctors' advice, like, they have so much authority and perceived authority, and, like, they're so, like, educated and so smart. So, like, I can't imagine how hard it would have been to say no. Like, I don't know a time in my life where I've looked at my doctor and been like, no, I'm not going to do what you say.
Yeah. And I think I've learned a lot to encourage other moms and encourage other women and just people in general to speak up for themselves. And especially after giving birth and going through the NICU with 5 babies and experiencing having to be a voice for my baby, who I've never experienced this. And if I don't know something, I have to be the voice for them. And I'm uncomfortable with this. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what those words are. I have to be the voice for them. So I can't just rely on that nurse, doctor. What does that mean? What are you talking about? Explain that to me. Help. I feel uncomfortable with this nurse. I need to know. I need to go above you and say, the head nurse, like, I'm uncomfortable with this nurse. I need a new nurse to be with my doctor. I don't like the way she's handling things. I don't like the way she touches her, and like, whatever. Like, you've got to be able to speak up. You've got to fight for life. You've got to fight for your kids, fight for yourself. And I do believe a lot of that is standing for yourself, standing for life. But I do that because I go to God with all this confusion, all these conflictions, all these words, and all these things that doctors are telling me, and it's coming from multiple resources, and it's weighted, it's heavy, and it's there is fear trying to come in and take over, right? And I'm just on my knees, and Adam and I are in prayer and just saying, like, Lord, you've got to intercede. You have got to give me, like, the power to say no, the power to have the right words and the strength to fight for this, you know?
Yeah, you kind of just went into it a little bit, but is there, like, one piece of advice you would give to a pregnant mom who's facing, like, a really high-risk pregnancy?
Absolutely, to tell her that you do not have to go in this alone, and you are not alone. The second that you are brought in and told that this is high risk, I want you to seek opinions, and I want you to seek God above all, because I've said this already, they're not going to give you peace. And out of all the trials I went throughout my whole pregnancy, and discovered one thing after another within my pregnancy of a high-risk pregnancy of, twin-to-twin transfusion, because I had identicals, learning about KEL positive, KEL negative blood work, difference of blood types within my body of the babies, if she had this or she didn't have this, and when she was born she would die because our bloods fought each other, and like incredible things going on within my body in the womb, right? And these are things that I don't believe could have been done without God being the protector over it, and saying, go to your knees and you pray. Yeah. Doctors are going to be able to visually see things, and I do believe that they have knowledge and they have skills, and they are there to give you these things and to visually see these things, but they're there for an aspect, but God is going to bring you peace, and he can guide you through those things.
Yeah, so if you could go back and tell your doctors, maybe like one of those first appointments where they mentioned that you're going to have to kill 3 of your babies, would you go back and tell them anything different?
I wouldn't be as strong as I am today if I hadn't gone through this experience, right? But I do believe I was chosen for this because God knew I would fight through it. Because I remember wanting to be like, I'm ready to get out of this room because I'm ready to fight.
Yeah.
Like, I was fired up in there.
Yeah.
But I think I would say, like, I hear you, but you're wrong, because my God is bigger, and you're choosing fear over belief. And maybe you don't have belief, and maybe that was the stance, is that they were lost. And, I have had some doctors throughout that whole process constantly come to me and saying, this isn't normal. Why is this happening? And I would tell them, because my God, because God.
Yeah.
And he's showing you something.
Yeah.
And because he's bigger than what you can see.
Yeah.
And so I would just go to them and say, I would want to go to them and say, you are choosing the uncertainty that you don't know. But I'm going to show you that I can trust in the unknown, and pray about this, and show you that God can do miraculous things, and he can prove miracles do still happen today.
Yeah. So. Dang. That's such a crazy story. So, kind of lightening it up a little bit, I'm so curious about like your birth experience, and then I have a 10-month-old at home, my second, and so I'm kind of like, I don't know, the newborn days are like not too far behind me, and so I'm so curious like what birth was like for you, and then those like first weeks with just one is like, wow, this is so crazy, and I just can't imagine what it was like with 5, so I kind of want to hear like what that was like, the day-to-day and your birth and all that.
So it's very emotional and a very powerful like mom experience, because you being a mother can totally relate to this, because becoming a mother is the greatest gift that you can ever be given. And I was a mom already because I had a daughter, and that was a beautiful experience. And that I look back and say, God knew what he was doing when he gave us Blake first. And to be able to have a child, and to be able to be given a child, and to protect this, and to be able to touch her and hold her instantly, that is a moment you will never be able to explain. It is just a gift that God gives you, right? It's a blessing. It's undeniable that is just a pure gift, right?
Yeah.
So with quintuplets, it's a very different experience, right? I had them at 28 weeks and 2 days via C-section. They're born at 2 pounds, which I can lighten this story to tell you a story that I just had with the quintuplets literally this week. Okay, if you want to hear that later, I can share that. But I had them premature, so they were, taken from a C-section, and they were literally like, "Hey, here you go, straight to the NICU." And so it's just like this fast pace, like, what is happening? Yeah. And you're like, okay, where did my babies go? And I remember being in recovery and just thinking, I need to see them. Yeah. And I'm lost. Like, I'm trying not to get emotional, but like, I'm lost. Like, where are my babies? Where are my babies? And I think any mom can instantly feel that, like, what happened? What has happened? It's part of you. And it's part of me that just, and it's so overwhelming because I don't just have one, I have 5 babies that I need them. I need them. I need to care for them. I need to feed them. I need to hold them. I need to touch them. I just need to be present with them, right? And I had to learn more than anything to trust. Like, and I wear that on my bracelet, and look, I wear NICU because September is NICU Awareness Month. And so trust is one of my biggest things that I've learned throughout the whole thing, is that I have had to trust outside of myself that God is bigger, but also to trust other people to come into my life. And this might be because it's like this full 360 of, like, or 180, you might say, whatever. That this instance with my doctor and telling him, no, I'm going to fight for this. But in the NICU, I'm saying, man, God, I'm trusting in you because I can't do. But I'm also having to trust in all 50, 60 people to take care of them because I don't know what to do. I can't do for them in the NICU. And that experience was just, I was so separated from the motherhood, that natural motherhood, right? I remember writing a blog about being the split mama. Tôn vinh cha trên trời, tôn vinh cha muôn đời, luôn